in the 4th hour. It is the 19th day of July 2010. I want to get into some of the financial news with Max-Keiser and your phone calls and the balance of the time we have. But we are in the middle of the greatest offensive in the info war we've ever launched. And it's happening because people have seen the attempt to censor the film, The Obama Deception, and it's backfiring against the globalists, and it's revealing how their system operates. This on the same day it's admitted that Google is basically an NSA master hub. The Washington Post even admits this, and so are 800, and let me give you the actual number here, 854,000 people in private industry have the highest level security clearances. The corporations are making themselves the government so they can rob and steal from you. Kenneth Webb, who runs the Director Channel, he's had a Director Channel since YouTube began, so he's able to upload the films in one piece in high quality. It's free, and he was able to go into the interface and remove the paid link that was on there. And they've taken it down for the last 2 days. It went back up today. We don't know what's going to happen with this. He was hacked. But I want to finish up with Kenneth Webb and then go back to Max-Keiser. Kenneth Webb, any other points you want to make here, sir?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I wanted to thank all the info warriors out there because I believe that, I don't know if they underestimated them or what, but it was all over the net. Everything that they did, and like I haven't heard back from YouTube. They just reinstated all kinds of videos like I said earlier. But I really want to thank everybody and you guys for being right on that, you know, and they felt it. They felt the voice. And we, like you say, we do have them on the run. They thought that they could take it away. And like we were going to go quietly in the night or something. And people, there was a big outpouring, a lot of videos, a lot of blogs, a lot of posts all over the internet. And it had an effect.
It certainly did. And I think everybody should rewatch the first 10 minutes of the Obama deception. It's that information that scares them so much. And tomorrow I'm going to play that first 10 minutes on air. It's that first 10 minutes that crystallizes the left-right paradigm and shows what's really happening. And Bush making jokes about dead kids in Iraq. And then we cut right to Obama and say, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Kenneth, God bless you. Continue fighting in there and continue to watch your six, my friend. And the fact is, we came in Saturday night. We cut a video, wrote an article to counter it. Aaron and Rob stayed up till 7, 8 in the morning. To get it completed, and we fought back immediately, and we're going to continue to fight back. This is a war. When the globalists push back, people go, oh my gosh, they're attacking us. That means we're in a fight. It means they're having to engage us. It means we're having an effect. We're in a war, an info war with these illegitimate criminals. We have the moral high ground. That's why the government bombs buildings and then blames it on patriots and liberty groups to make us be the bad guy. They are the bad guys. Kenneth Webb, God bless you.
Bless you too, Alex. Take care.
Max-Keiser, we're going to break. I'm going to come back with you and give you the floor and take calls. But I wanted to bring that point up. Did you see the Financial Times of London with Robert Shapiro, the top advisor to Clinton, advising Obama that he needs an Oklahoma City or 9/11 attack so the public, quote, sees him as strong, and that's, quote, the only way he's going to win the midterm elections? I mean, these guys are 1 inch away from admitting stage terror.
Sure. But before, just one quick note. You know, just a couple of weeks ago, Alex, remember that on Facebook, after the BP oil disaster, more than 800,000 people joined a boycott, and then Facebook decided to delete that boycott. And that's exactly the kind of thing that we just saw in your case. So this is enormous power given to these sites, and they are destroying the ability for people to express themselves politically. 800,000 people were going to join the BP boycott, and Facebook simply said, well, we just deleted it because we didn't think it was in the interest of our associates.
And meanwhile, the founder of Facebook calls his, I can't quote it, it's cuss words, calls his users dumb effers because they trust him, and he sits around giggling, calling them scum and filth.
Well, it's 500 million people now on Facebook. It's the basis for this casino gulag. So in other words, going forward, the people who joined the BP boycott would be awarded debit that they can only work off by virtual slave technique, by working off the credits by viewing on ads. And the people who didn't join the BP boycott would be awarded virtual credits.
Meanwhile, he's laughing at you. Facebook's literally part of the NSA, CIA, and he's just, look at these scum. I rule these stupid, pathetic filth because they trust me. Stop trusting them. Max-Keiser, stay there, my friend. We'll come back. Stay with us. We're live, my friends. It's hour number 4, the 19th day of July, 2010. Max-Keiser is riding shotgun with us. The Keiser Report. I'll be on his TV show tomorrow. You can also check out his YouTube channel. A lot of great information there. Max, I want to briefly get into 2 big issues, and then to Al, Joe, BJ, Steve, and Matt, at least those callers with you today. And that's this. Your take on Goldman-Sachs stealing billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars on record, having all the major federal regulators, their own internal emails saying this is pure bleeping garbage, but we're going to sell it to people, ha, 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 while they were betting against it. And the Congress and the Federal Trade Commission said, no wrongdoing, you got to pay a $500 million fine, a fraction of the money they stole. And now we see the Financial Reform Act, which gives the very same banks more power over the entire economy. This is amazing. Give us your take on that.
Well, I'll talk about the Financial Reform Act in a second, but this is an interesting headline. Europe freezes out Goldman Sachs, shocked by past deals with Italy and Greece. Governments are excluding Goldman Sachs from their sovereign bond sales. So the European banks, especially in Greece and Italy, where Goldman cooked the books of these countries to allow them to enter the euro. And then subsequently, when they couldn't make the payments, they attacked them with naked short sales and other forms of financial terrorism to profit on their demise and their misery and the people's austerity. They're now kicked Goldman out. Exactly what I said in a video that's got over 400,000 views on YouTube, where I recommended that the Greek government kick Goldman Sachs out of their country. This is exactly what they did. They kicked Goldman Sachs. Greece has kicked Goldman Sachs out. Italy is kicking Goldman Sachs out. So the Europeans are not taking this financial terrorism anymore, and they've drawn a line in the sand, and they said no more financial terrorism, no more Goldman Sachs. You know, do all of your dirty dealings, your crooked accounting, your naked short selling, your high-frequency trading, and you keep it there in the United States, where you've got friends in Washington who don't care how much misery and austerity you wreak upon the American economy. Now, on the financial reform bill, as you know, I've been fighting against box office futures contracts, and they have outlawed box office futures contracts because of the Keiser Report show, my appearances on your show, the MPAA, and Blanche Lincoln. We have defeated box office futures trading. So the one industry in America that's still made in America, Hollywood films, is being saved from financial terrorists at Cantor Fitzgerald, the new Cantor Exchange, and another company called Trend Exchange. So we have made these box office futures contracts illegal. This was a campaign that I've been doing for 6 months, and I know all the players. I was able to get into the internal forces that were shaping this legislation, and we struck a blow to the financial terrorist industry.
Well, let me go back to the first point, though, and back you up. Remember those headlines with Merkel saying criminal banks looting us by design? And she actually came out, and she's a globalist, but she said that they had to kick the big central banks out because they were destroying the country. So, I mean, the globalists are even fighting with each other.
Well, as predicted, the millionaires are fighting with the billionaires, because of this credit crash, which is making everybody who is less than $100 million net worth fight for their lives, because the wealth is being confiscated through draconian taxes, through all kinds of new regulations, and through capital controls, and through all kinds of new predatory practices that are being given to the banks. The financial reform bill actually gives the banks more ways to prey on folks. They make them even bigger than they were before, and it's just going in the opposite direction. Now, as you point out, the governments in Europe, they were shocked, as it says in this article, at the emergence of the past transaction between Goldman and Greece and Italy, where products the bank helped to sell aided them in hiding the debt. Greece, which used Goldman in a bond sale, is practically a war with the bank. So here they say Greece is at war with Goldman Sachs, and they should be, just because there's a war on terror. And I don't condone terror, and Goldman Sachs is a terrorist, and they need to be shut down.
Because they're not going to stop. I mean, as Thomas Jefferson said, quoting him again, the level of tyranny you will live under is the exact amount you put up with. Of course, if they've got the regulators and are able to rob everyone, they're going to do it. Of course, if private corporations can be given top-level CIA, NSA clearances and be given government power, they're going to grab it. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, the question is, why are Americans condoning this financial terrorism and the countries in Europe? And by the way, when this news was announced, the euro traded up because people said they're doing something against terrorism. The euro was remember a couple of weeks ago, they said the euro was going to go to parity with the dollar. It was crashing. It was 120. Now suddenly it's back to 130. Why? Because the governments are getting rid of the financial terrorists. They're kicking out Goldman-Sachs. Europe is a buy again.
Before you leave us, I want to get into all this talk about the dollar's demise, the Chinese taking away our AAA rating, Moody's taking away the rating of Ireland, where you see things going in the short and long term. But right now, let's go quickly to calls.